In this lesson, we'll discuss the features and benefits of conducting a structural analysis. Alright, so I'd like to welcome you to our course in conducting a structural analysis using Revit structure. So what we're going to do for this course is we're basically going to take this architectural model that I have currently in the architectural template, but we're actually going to load this guy into a structural template. We'll link it. We'll also copy and paste or copy and monitor the elements into our structural project. We'll then prepare our model for analysis. We'll kind of do some problem solving along the way, overcoming any error message we might run into. And then we'll also learn how to kind of interpret some of these results. And we'll really get familiar with some of the cool benefits of using the structural analysis and the structural analysis app at Autodesk 360. Well, let's talk a little bit about structural analysis. So what exactly is it? Well, basically, your structural analysis is used to predict the response of a structure when it's subject to specific loads. Wind loads, snow loads, seismic loads, what have you. We have all these different cases that are actually available to us within Revit. Now, the good thing about it is when you're doing a structural analysis, it allows design decisions to be made a little bit earlier in the design process, which means potential savings in time as well as money. Now, the goal of the overall structure analysis is to make sure that my structure meets its structural requirements. Well, what are those requirements? Well, stability is one, strength is the other, stiffness, economics, and also the aesthetics. So is it stable? Is it strong? Is it a stiff structure? What kind of an economic investment am I looking into invest in to create this structure? And secondly, is it going to look good with the architecture in the outside shell of the building? So all these things kind of fit into the purpose for doing a structural analysis. Now, in our case, a good way to kind of look at this process of a structural analysis is you have inputs, you have a system, and then you have outputs. So basically what that means is you have a bunch of things that you're putting into the system and you're analyzing the information you get out. In our case, the inputs are going to be loads. The system is going to be the structural system, structural wall, concrete, any kind of structural element or system. And then the output is the behavior of our model. So things might deform, things may displace. We may be able to trace some of the stress throughout different members within our model. So this is the real benefit of being able to do a structural analysis. Now, the one that we have available to us in Revit is actually pretty cool, and believe it or not, it's free. Now, to access it, you'll actually have to be signed into Autodesk 360, which you can do up here. You can actually do if you have a subscription account. So once you are signed into Autodesk 360, this is what you'll actually see on your screen, is we'll come to this page here. And what you can do is you can type in the app we're looking for, do a quick search, and you should be able to find it here under the Structural Analysis Toolkit for 2015. As I mentioned, the great thing about this is it's free. So I highly recommend taking a look at many of the other apps that are available to you on Autodesk 360. There's a lot of really cool stuff that you can actually do, and you can actually take your software kind of to the next level and do some really cool things with these other apps. But for us, we're focusing on our Structural Analysis Toolkit. So once you've downloaded that, let me jump back to Revit here. You'll notice once we finally go to our Analyze tab, that area will actually be here. And this is where you can actually start that whole process. So you see we have several different buttons here to use to actually conduct our analysis. And we'll get into that just a little bit later. But now that we know the purpose of a structural analysis, what it is, how to access this app, and what to kind of look forward to, in the next lesson, we'll start getting our hands dirty. And what we'll actually do is we'll take this model here and we'll link it into a structural template, and we'll learn how to link it, copy monitor the parts, and prepare this guy so we can start doing some analysis on the structure. So I'm going to meet you in the next lesson, and we'll start getting our linking of models together.